Hey, I'm Ryan with Warner Discovers, and today I'm going to show you my installation for the Quietcool attic fan. As you can see in the last video, I did an unboxing just to show you kind of what came in the box. And here I'm just going to show you the process in my installation for our attic. So let's check out that process. Alright, so just finished unboxing, have all the items here, looking at the installation instructions. Let's go. Alright, so we got the Gable fan up in the attic here, and this is where it'll go, so it theoretically should mount on those two boards there. So it's been like a 90-degree day today. It's sort of later in the day now, but it's near 100-ish degrees up in here. The other day it was like 90, 95 degrees, and I measured up here and it was like 120 degrees in the attic. So those are the days where I'm really hoping to get it back down to like 90 degrees or so, because then the second floor struggles to keep up. So the first problem here is this Gable vent is just a little thinner than I would like. If I set it horizontally, it's just a little too wide. And I could do it off center, like one here and one there, but not doing all four kind of worries me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take a piece of wood and go across the top and bottom so all four of these can hit wood. All right, we got the top and the bottom, so now both of the tabs can go 1, 2, 3, 4, so it can hit some wood. So we got the 3 screws on each. And now we're gonna put in these. We got the next part installed, we got the screws here. There's like a minor gap over here. It's probably a gap up here, a gap below here. I'll have to go back and improve upon that, but I think we're good to now mount this. And mounting this, you just unscrew this and this will flip open, and then I'm just gonna take another one of my screws here and put it right into one of the joists. Open up this, and there's some holes in the back where you can screw it right to the wood. Now we got it mounted, and then let's plug it in. So I just plugged it in. You can hear it running. I don't know how fast it is. Blink and test. I can definitely feel the air blowing from the gaps, so it'll be good to block those up. So we got the Gable fan installed and set up, and I paired my phone with the app. It ran through the smart mode and setup and everything like that. We'll see how this goes. Looking forward to seeing the results, and I also need to patch up these holes around it so that it's not blowing the air back into the attic. Alright, so I'm back up in the attic here. I have some of this tape that is used for like HVAC and sealing up the sides here where it's open. I also have some foam board from like an AC that I'm using to block the larger areas over here. And then I'll also seal up some of these creases. And hopefully that'll block the air from returning into the attic. So it's been one of the hottest days the year here, and it's like 102 up here. We got the fan running. Before it was probably like 120 on a hot day. Now you can see it's all running. I got all of the HVAC tape sealing all the holes where I could. There's still like 1 or 2 spots that seem to open up, and right now it's running on high. If I were to do it again, I would definitely take one of these plywood sheets and cut a hole in it, but I don't really have a tool to easily do that. So this has been working really well for now. I think what I'll do now is I'll talk about some of the data I have from Home Assistant, and if this tape doesn't keep up with sticking and closing those air gaps, then I'll definitely just have to cut one of these sheets of plywood and put it where the fan is. Then I wouldn't need the top wood, the bottom wood, and then these like plastic stuff that comes with it, the corners here. I've been running it for around 2-ish weeks. We can take a look at the data in Home Assistant, and I can just kind of talk about the benefit that I've been seeing. So one of the big issues we were having upstairs is in the master bedroom. It would get up to like 76 degrees in the hallway, which is right outside the master bedroom, and it would take forever to cool down overnight. It was taking like all night long to get down to like a more comfortable like 68 that we put it at night. You can see here, this is all the data that I've had since I installed it. Unfortunately, the data got cut back prior to me installing it. I thought I was saving it more than 2 weeks back, but it did not. Master bedroom hasn't gotten above 73 degrees in over the past 2 weeks. Turn down time from the higher temperature to the lower temperature has definitely increased in terms of efficiency. So if we take a look at last night, for example, it was sort of a like 80-ish degree day, pretty warm out, high 80s. And I could see here at 8 or 9 o'clock, it ended up getting up to 70, which it was set up to 70 until 9 p.m. and then it switched to 68. But it peaks down into the high 68.8, and we have the door shut between the hallway, so like the thermostat's going to be different. This would take like all the way into 6 a.m. to get to where it would be now at like 2 a.m. And just to give you another idea here, looking at the front outdoor motion sensor temperature, so you can see the peaks when the sun hits it, so it gets like crazy hot into like 110, something like that when the sun is in direct hit. But if you look at a little afterward when the sun isn't hitting it, we were having a really hot day that day, and the master bedroom did get a little warm. It did get up to like 72, but with the fan blowing all the hot air out of the attic, this would have been up at like 76 degrees on one of those days without the attic fan. And as you can see, it's already keeping the temperature down. It is still taking a while to get down to 68, but overall it's keeping the temperature lower than it would have had I not had the attic fan, and keeping it down to a more comfortable temperature earlier on in the night. This was definitely a cooler day. It did get into like the low 90s, but it was still a hotter day, mainly high 80s. And this is really where I think it helps the most, is in the high 80s days, where I would commonly see that second floor get up to mid 70s. Now it's not even pushing above 70 degrees. And you can see here that the 69 degrees is achieved relatively early on in the night, and it gets down into that 68 degree area. So overall, I've been really happy with how it's performing. I definitely recommend. Clearly, I think that insulation on the external walls of the house and in the attic could definitely be improved, but for $150, this is definitely resolving a lot of our issues in terms of air conditioning the second floor and just getting these high temperatures and having the AC not be able to keep up on those really hot days and those high 80-degree days. And the smart app capability itself, you can see here, you can basically go into the app, tap on your attic fan, see the temperature it's at, see the humidity it's at. You can't really link it into Home Assistant or anything. Fortunately, you can see the current temperature and monitor how that's been going. I wish it included like a history graph to actually see, when it peaks and things like that, like I just showed you here. In terms of monitoring the attic temperature, it's actually been great. Let me know if you have any questions. I hope this is helpful walking through the installation and talking about some of the data. I wish I had saved the data prior to the installation, but unfortunately I lost it. So just what I got right now. Let me know if you have any questions, and thanks for watching.